no joke. I'm not even joking right now. I think I've watched it 200 times. Like I could say 1,000 times. That's obviously an exaggeration. I think I've legitimately watched it at least 200 times. When I first saw it, didn't quite understand what I was seeing. Now I understand. Now I appreciate it. And like I said, I'm all in, baby. Take a look at this.
Got to find a breaker throw in this set if he wants to level up the World Championship final. Michael van Gerwen isn't in any mood to give him a sniff.
Yeah, the combination finishing in this game is going to be key. You can tell by the way they're scoring, there may be nothing in it. They may both be on nines. Michael may miss and Michael may hit. They're both on nines. They're both on a nine. This is insane. Come on now.
Wow, the World Championship final. Michael van Gerwen is on a nine darter in the World final and just misses double 12. Over to you, Michael Smith.
One man misses, does the other man get? I've never seen the like. Come on, Bully Boy! Yes, double 12! That is the most amazing lemon dance you will ever see in your life! I can't speak! I can't speak!
Absolutely unbelievable! The crowd are going berserk! Michael Smith makes more history in the world final, but that is simply the best leg of dance ever, ever, ever!
That is the most amazing lemon dance you will ever see in your life! I can't speak! I can't speak!
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor, it is a privilege to welcome the pride of St. Helens, the #1 pound-for-pound darts player on the planet, the reigning defending world champion, the one and only Bully Boy. There he is, Michael Smith. What a legend. Oh, yes. Michael, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, still on top of the world, mate. It's still not slept in 6 days, but yeah, it's all good.
Oh, my gosh. I have to tell you, Michael, I get an opportunity to talk to a lot of people, a lot of great athletes. I'm legitimately in awe of you right now. I feel a little starstruck speaking to you.
Yeah, that leg was ridiculous. Being involved in it just felt like another 9 darts. But like I said, you watched it 200 times. When you say you're exaggerating 1,000, I reckon I did do 1,000, and you finally realize how big that actually was. And to be part of something amazing, it was good.
Okay, so I have a lot to talk to you about. And by the way, you're joining us from Bahrain right now, correct?
Yeah, I'm just in my hotel room.
It's unbelievable. So you have another competition this weekend?
Yeah, on Thursday.
There's no break? There's no nothing? You don't get to go to Disneyland or something like that with your family?
No, I brought the family here, so they're in a different room right now. We've got 2 rooms.
Legend.
We can shut one door and the kids have got their own bedroom, so they're in there being quiet and watching this live.
Okay, well, that is incredible. And I know you've had a bit of a hellacious 24 hours or so of travel, so I appreciate you doing this, my friend. And I'm sure you're really tired. Could you even possibly put into words what last Tuesday felt like for you? Because obviously I've learned a lot about your story, and I know last year you fell short, and so many people wanted to see you, finally prevail as world champion, to get #1, to finally do it and to have a moment like that. Could you even put into words what it felt like?
That little kid dreaming, and it finally come true. And that, I think that's the only way I can describe it, is a dream come true. It's what we all strive for. I've always wanted to be world champion, and I've always wanted to be world #1. And what better way I get to do it the same night? I got both feet in one go.
Who introduced you to darts?
My dad. I had an injury going to school. I used to play rugby, so I couldn't play. I'd done my hip in, and yeah, we just watched my dad practice in the house, and I thought, no, I'll have a go. Hit my first 180 after about 4 weeks, and I just went from there.
So I read that you were on your bike and you fell and you broke your hip when you were a kid. Is that what happened?
Yeah, going to school, being a bit of an ass on my bike, doing wheelies down the street, and just come straight off it. My mum didn't believe that I did it, so she took me to the hospital, and yeah, it got confirmed there.
Broken hip?
Yeah.
How old were you?
When I think it was 13, 14.
Did you need surgery?
No, I just rested up. It just shot up the side, so like kind of come back down, and couldn't walk for about 5 or 6 weeks. And then, when I started getting up on my crutches, that's when I started playing. So my first 180 was actually on crutches.
Wow. And was your darts board at home where you were practicing, or would you have to go somewhere to practice?
Yeah, it was always at home, but now I don't have a dartboard in the house. I always practice at the pub. But it's like my mum and dad's pub, it only opens at 7 o'clock at night. So I'll go in there from 11 till 2:30. So the pub's shut, no one can bother me. And then, just crack away and do my job.
Wait a second. Wait a second. You don't own one? You don't have one to practice at home?
No, it's not work. There's too many distractions. If I've got a dartboard in the house and the kid starts asking questions or something good comes on TV, I'll sit down and watch it. So I've got to leave the house. I've got to go to work.
And your parents own a pub?
Yeah, it's no better way. I can always go to the pub and
Yeah.
chill out there.
And where's the pub located?
In Sutton, in St Helens. It's St Helens.
Okay. And so you go there before they open and no one bothers you. You could just practice. That's your practice time.
Yeah, I open up and lock up behind me. So I'm always locked in on my own. And it's just me, the dartboard, and music on the TV, and I just practice away.
So when you're practicing as a kid, your dad wasn't a pro player, correct?
I don't know. It was just a normal pub player.
At what point do you go from just trying to have fun, emulate your dad, just have a laugh, to thinking that you might be able to make a living off of this?
I think it was when I was about 16. I won a youth tournament. It was like £100. And I was still at school at the time. And £100 was a lot of money then. It was like, I think I could do a bit more. And then I won my first men's tournament, which was £1,000. I was like, I'm not bothering with school here. I'm not bothering with anything. I can earn decent money if I keep trying hard. And sadly, I think it was Christmas Eve. I broke both my hands while I was just turned pro. So I had, I think, 5 months out. And then I think a month later, after breaking both my hands and having the cast off, I come back and I won my first professional title. And I got £6,000 for that. And back then it was massive. And it's just stemmed from all there. Then I started picking up more money. I was doing well on TV and shot up the rankings.
So I also read about this. You did you break your hands or your wrists?
I broke both my wrists. I slipped over on the ice Christmas Eve.
Jeez. And you fell face first.
Yeah, I put my hands down on the floor like this.
Yeah.
I slipped against. My hands just went all the way back on both.
Both of them.
Yeah. So I was in cast Christmas Day.
And how old were you when that happened?
I was 19.
How hard is it to have both hands in casts?
You can only imagine things that you can't do.
Yes, yes.
It was really hard. I just had to make do with it. And the cast normally come up to your fingers here, so I had to cut off to my knuckles just so I could move my fingers a bit and function. Yeah, it's just silly mistakes when I was young, and I've learned from them now.
Were you able to practice when your hands were in casts?
Not for the first month because it was really sore, and then I started to play, but I had to throw different. As long as I kept my elbow moving, keeping it straight, and not forgetting how to play, it was something I had to do, and I had to obviously persevere through the pain.
So I have a good friend of mine. His name is P.T. Carroll. He lives in Dublin, Ireland, Blanchardstown to be exact. And every Christmas time, he tells me, "You got to watch the darts. You got to watch the darts. It's an incredible thing." And I'll be honest, it's not that big over here. Like, I didn't even know where it was airing until I tweeted it out, and they told me DAZN here in America. But then I find out through our good friend Eddie Hearn that the darts gets like 5 to 6 times what boxing gets in terms of viewership in the UK, and it's gigantic. And I see the scenes at the Ali Pali. Why do you think it is so much more popular over there than it is over here?
I don't know. It's massive in Europe as well. So Germany at the minute, the market's crazy. I think when I played Gabriel Clements in the semi-finals of the World, they had the 3rd most viewing figures of any sport.
Wow.
In Germany. And it is crazy what they get. And I think last year when I played at Madison Square Garden and I ended up winning it there, and it was a massive thing for me, especially being such an iconic arena, a stadium like that, but it just didn't feel as big because the crowds, it was decent crowds, but I don't think they understood it more like the English do and the Europeans do. But hopefully this year when we go back now, especially with the interest of you and more people get into it now, we're back there June the 2nd, so hopefully.
Oh, I'll be there.
A lot more interest now.
I'll be there. You're going to come in studio as well, right?
Yeah, of course. I'll definitely come in and do another live chat with you.
Yeah, we have the dartboard up here. I've been killing it. I've broken a couple.
Yeah.
You saw that?
I promise you I'll send you some darts out as well, so I'll send you some decent
Legend.
sets out.
So prior to this past week, was the win at MSG your biggest win?
To date it was, yeah. And then I think, 8 weeks ago, I won my first major title with a Grand Slam. And then, yeah, 4 weeks later, I won the biggest of them all. So I think it went from the MSG to the Grand Slam, now to the World Championship.
Going into the World Championship, how are you feeling? How was the confidence? How were the nerves? How are you feeling about the prospects of winning?
I've always been a confident player, but I think coming from the Grand Slam, I knew I had something different now. Even when I was getting beat, I knew I wasn't beat. I just had to keep fighting and persevering. I think you've seen it in the second round, being 3-1 down to Martin Schindler. Come back and won that 4-3. So I always had the confidence I could go far. And yeah, once I made the quarterfinals, that's when my head kind of switches where I'm not only playing per game, I'm playing for the title now. And I think I stepped up then in each game. Every time it come, I played even better. And I think seeing in that final when Van Gerwen started to throw everything at me, I was always there right behind him. When he missed, I took every shot. And I think that's what's helped me massively lately with the confidence.
And last year at the World Championships, you got very, very close. Did that crush you? Like, do you remember, just what that felt like in the moment, knowing that you came so close to winning, but ultimately didn't prevail?
Yeah, and it goes back even further. 2019, I lost in the final to Michael Van Gerwen, who would just be. And then last year when I lost to Peter Wright, it was saying to my kids, it might never happen. I can get to this final, but it might never happen. But the day after, you just switch off, get back to that practice board, and you just got to keep your mentality strong and just keep thinking it will happen. Get another chance, it'll happen. And as soon as I got past the sixth set, because I lost 7-5 last year, as soon as I got to 6-4, I knew I was winning. Then nothing was going to stop me.
I can't get enough of it. I can't stop watching it. If you go on my YouTube now, it's all darts videos. And what I love so much about it, I'm a big pro wrestling fan, and I feel like what they have done with you guys is steal a little bit from pro wrestling, the showmanship, the glitz, the glamour. I love the walkouts. You come out to, oh, don't you dare look bad, just keep your shut up, and it's great, and everyone's singing. By the way, why do you come out to that song?
That wasn't my choice. It was a Twitter poll. Like we just put 2 songs on Twitter, and that was one that was picked. But mate, it's stuck, and it's one of, in my opinion, one of the best walking songs now.
It's amazing. Everyone's singing it. And I thought at the end of the leg, when they go to that music, when it's like, da, 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 I thought they were singing Michael Smith. Are they saying that or no?
No, the first one, the da, 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 that one. When you're walking off, you go for a break then. But yeah, the crowd just carry on. The nuts, they love it.
It's incredible. But do you agree with me that they've taken a little, like, to me, that's the brilliance of all of this. You guys are characters. You have walkouts. There's cheerleaders. There's lights. There's smoke. There's fire, all this stuff. That, to me, they've taken it from being a pub game to like a real show. And I'm wondering who you credit for that. Who is responsible for doing that?
I don't know. The PDC guys, they've got some creative minds, what they do. And like you just said, it's gone from a pub game now to it's hooked you, so it's gone to a spectacular now. Everyone's getting involved, and hopefully we can only get bigger, and one day maybe Olympics, which I think, in my personal thing, it should be.
Wow.
But it can only get bigger. It can only get bigger, and you can see how big it is in Europe, and hopefully we can make it massive in the States now.
Is there some talk of that? Is there a push to get it into the Olympics? That would be incredible.
It should already be there. I think it should already be. But yeah, if everyone, like, you want to be a world champion, you want to be a gold medalist at the Olympics, you want to compete in the Olympics, and to get darts in it, you've got some sports already in darts in the Olympics. I think darts should be there. It's a skillful game. It's not just sticking it in by hand. You've got to throw it. You've got to be precise. It's all hand-eye coordination. So it should be there.
How many hours would you say you practice a week?
I do about 3-5 hours a day. So whether my maths is about 40 hours a week.
Wow.
And if I'm traveling, I'd maybe stick in an hour or 2 a day. But if I'm at home for a week practicing for a big event, it's 3 to 5 hours a day then.
So like you're in Bahrain now, and there's a competition this weekend, correct?
Yep.
Can you and the competition starts on Thursday?
Yeah.
So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, are you practicing?
Yeah, the guys from the PDC, we've got another room here in the hotel. We've moved all the beds and put the 2 dartboards in, so you can get to win and practice. You just put your time slot in and get in.
And if you're lacking sleep like you are now, that can affect you, correct?
It could do. It could affect you mentally, but it's just you've got to do it. Even if you just put an hour in, you don't have to put 3 or 5. Just put an hour in and keep yourself focused, keep yourself doing what you're doing, and then and get as much hours sleep as you can. Like today, I won't. I'm not going to touch the darts today. I'm straight to bed after this.
Right. And maybe a stupid question, but are you allowed to drink beer during the competition?
Uh, yes, no, yes. It. Some people do, some people don't. But this is the thing where you want to be professional now. You want to do it proper, and you've got to prepare yourself proper. You can't play darts drunk. Your coordinations go. So if you want to be the best, you've got to play the best, and you've got to prepare the best as well.
So when you're up there, you're not drinking beer, correct?
On stage, you've got the water.
Right. That's
Always
it.
water on stage.
So now the moment, as they said, the greatest leg of all time. First off, do you agree? That's the clip we just showed. Do you agree that that was the greatest leg of all time?
Yeah, it's never going to be beaten because if Michael would have hit the double 12 and I would just gone 180, 180, we wouldn't have been talking about this. But because he hit 8 perfect and missed the 9th and then I went 9 perfect, it would never be done again. You can't hit 2 9-darters in one leg.
Right. That
It
is
is the greatest leg ever.
prior to that, had you ever hit 9 in a row like that?
Oh yeah, I've done it loads of times on TV. When you went back to your friend in Ireland, I think my first one on TV was in the Premier League in Dublin.
Wow.
There'd be a clip on that. There'd be a clip on that on YouTube if you get it up and watch that one. I've done, I think, 4 on TV. 2 last year, 1 this year, and 1 when I was in Dublin.
But what made it so great was that both of you were going back and forth.
Yeah, that's the perfect leg. You can't get any better. And I think what was better when he missed and I give him the little high five, and then it's kind of like, hold me drink, I'll show you how to do it now. And
that is amazing. You like MVG?
yeah, I'm good friends with Michael, but on stage, no. Off stage, really good friends.
What do you mean on stage? No, you don't like the way he plays, or it's just like you try to keep it separate?
On stage, he's an enemy. If I liked him as a friend, I would have gifted him 300,000. And I would have took home the 200,000. So you've got to dislike people on stage. You've got to hate them, and it has to be done. You're playing for, in our sport, the biggest prize money there is of $500,000.
Are there any guys that you really despise that you're like, man, I cannot lose to this guy?
There's a few, but I'm not going to say it on.
Okay, fair enough. I just want to know if there's any rivalries. There's rivalries though, right?
It is rivalries. You'll see with Michael and Peter, Michael and Gez. They're the big 3 names in the sport. I stay in the background and do my own thing. I don't like confrontation. I like just being myself, and I'd rather be on my own. I enjoy my own company too much.
And so when he misses that 9th one, what is going on in your mind? What are you thinking?
I was willing him to hit the 9.
Why?
You don't mind, like, because it's nice to see. It's good for the crowd. But I know it's only winning 1 leg. But when he missed, I was like, right, you do it now, and he'll know he's in a game. Then if I can hit this, because he beat me, like I said, 4 years ago in the final. If I hit this, he knows he's in a game, and he knows he's got to do something special to beat me. And he nearly did the most special thing he could do, but he just fell short. And I showed him that I was up to the task, and he was in a real darts match.
Now, I hope you don't mind me saying this. That is incredible. But what first drew me to the clip, if I'm being honest, was the commentary. When you hear and the legend's name is Wayne Mardell, correct?
Yeah.
Who tweeted me, and I was very excited about that. When you hear how excited he is, and what's the name of the play-by-play guy? I don't want to leave him out because he was great too.
The other guy who was doing it is Stuart Pike. He's from my town as well. He's from St. Helens.
It was beautiful. Together, you can't not be taken by it, intoxicated by it, to see their emotion. And then, I can't speak. Like the whole thing, they're both on 9s. When you saw that, when you went back and watched it on your phone, on your whatever, what did you think? Like, because it's one thing to live it, it's another to see it and then to see their emotion. That made it to me 100 times better.
Yeah, I actually tweeted about Wayne that night saying what a special moment it was, but it wouldn't have been as special without that commentary, what he did. And he's a former player himself. He was like a 5-time semi-finalist at the World Champs. To see an ex-player to get that excited over darts, like he no longer plays, it was something special.
Amazing. And the I Can't Speak is in reference to like a famous, I think, rugby match, correct?
Yeah, it was Castleford v Wigan. I can't remember the commentator who said it, but I think because Stuart Pike, the other commentator, he's a massive Saints lad as well, massive fan. He'll tell you everything about rugby that you need to know. So I think them two referenced it before the game, before the match, should have said. So I think that's where it just come out.
Amazing. Unbelievable. So that clip, like, how could you not stop watching it, right? You think you've watched it over 1,000 times?
Yeah, there's more. After this, I'll send you a WhatsApp. There's an Italian version.
I saw it.
It's
Saw it.
so funny. I mean, it's
I s-
mints. Every single one I've watched that one, the Hungarian one,
There's a Hungarian one.
Finland one.
Yes.
Yeah, there's loads. I mean, it just makes it special just seeing people's emotions. I know that's my job, but just the smile you put on people's faces is even better.
Um, could you even possibly have imagined how big this? Like, are you shocked by how big this has gotten? The view. I think the views on Twitter is like 10 million or something. On YouTube, it's 2 million. Like, has this blown your mind?
Hey, at the time, no, I didn't. I just thought I'd obviously live my dream of winning the world championships. I knew it at 9, but when I seen the backlash of it, when I finished the match and gone on social media, I didn't realize it was that big. And I think this is like the highest viewed final we've had and the most popularity thing we've had. And I think this could only make the game better. And it's getting everyone that didn't even like darts hooked on it now. And I think it is massive for us as players, especially because the PDC and we might attract more sponsors, which means we get paid more money, which is always good.
Yeah.
So it is. I think it's a really special thing that happened. And it was fitting that I got to do it.
Oh my God. By the way, did you see Shaquille O'Neal playing darts on his show?
Yeah. Yeah, I watched that on I seen that on social media as well. I was shocked by it.
Crazy. It's unbelievable, the whole thing. Now, could I ask how much do you win when you win the world championship?
£500,000, £500,000.
Okay, that's from the PDC?
Yeah.
And does Eddie Hearn and Barry Hearn, do they own the PDC?
Yeah, Matchroom.
Yeah.
I think they own Matchroom Sports, so they got the PDC, the snooker. I think they've got is it the pool? Is it
Yeah.
the Scone Cup? I don't watch Scone Cup, whatever it's called. Obviously the boxing. Yeah, there's Eddie and Barry. Well, especially Barry's a clever man.
And
Whenever he touches turns.
And was Barry there?
Barry turned up for my quarterfinals, I think.
Okay.
He kind of took a step back. Like he said he was retiring, but we see him more now that he's retired. But yeah, I think he turned up for the quarterfinal round, come around, shook everyone's hand, wishes all the best, put on a great show, and then he disappears back into the crowd then and just mingles.
And when you do the PDC, like this event in Bahrain, is it the same group of guys that go there? Like, is it almost like F1 where it's the same amount of guys, or is it different every tournament?
It's 8 every time, but I think we have 6 this year, 6 World Series events, so there'll be maybe 4 or 5 all the same players, and then they'll pick 2 or 3 different ones each time. And it's just to grow the sport in the different countries. So like this week we've got Bahrain, next week we're in Copenhagen, and then June we're in MSG again, and then August we're in New Zealand and Sydney.
Wow.
And then there's a 6th one they've not announced yet, so we don't know where that one is. And then you've got the Premier League, which is every Thursday night. There's 8 players, 16 nights. And that's the same 8 every single time.
So you compete in that as well?
Yeah.
How many events do you think you compete in every year?
Oh dear. I have the 6 World Series, and then you got the Premier League, which is 16 nights. It's 26. We've got 30 Pro Tours, so that's 56. 13 Europeans. I'm losing count now, and then I think there's about another 8 majors, 8 to 9 majors.
Wow.
But like your Pro Tours is 30 of them, so you're playing 15 weekends. Your 13 Europeans, that's 13 weekends, just one event each weekend. So you're lucky to get 2 or 3 weekends off a year then.
Wow. Is that tough? I mean, it seems like you're very close to your family, to your children, your 2 kids, your wife. How hard is that?
It is extremely hard, but I sent you the text the other day. I'll do anything as long as I don't see them struggle.
Right.
And I know eventually, like I can play till darts is a good game, so I can play till I'm 90 years old if my body lets me. But now, if I keep winning and keep doing what I'm doing, I can retire a lot younger and I can spend a lot more time with my kids. And it's just for now, you got to put the work in, and you get out of any sport what you put in. If I want to be half-hearted and put 50% in, I get 50% reward. So it's full maximum 100%. And now I'm finally reaping the rewards of what I've put myself through and put my family through.
And how's the sponsorship scene? Like, are there a lot of people coming to the table now? A lot of people want to be in business with you?
There's a few. There's a few. We've always had sponsors, but now being like the world champion, world number 1, I can ask for more money now.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're allowed 3 on the shirt on the front, 1 on the sleeve. And then sometimes you can get people who just want to sponsor your social media, so you can tag them in it all the time. It is good. You just the sponsors alone can stop you from working. Just
Wow.
the darts is like the second part of your game then. So it is massive what's coming into it now.
And do you have a manager?
Yeah, Mark Pritchard. I signed with him 2 years ago, so this is our third year now.
Okay, there's actually a lot of similarities between the darts and the MMA fighters because you're kind of your own entity and you have to go out there and fight for what you get and sponsorship. There's no union, right?
No, we've got the PDPA, which they help out. So if we need help, advice, they're always there. So you have the PDC, the PDPA, and then our managers and the players.
Oh, okay. So you
So
do have
we'll
a
go,
players association.
yeah, we'll go to the manager. We'll moan to our manager first, and then he'll go moan to the PDPA, and then they'll take up the issue then with the PDC.
Wow. All right. You guys are actually more advanced than the MMA fighters. And I loved the scene when you won. You went straight to your family. Do you remember what you said to your kids? What you said to your wife? That was beautiful when you hugged them.
Yeah, I remember last year when I lost to Peter Wright, we were sat in the cabin backstage, and me and my oldest son, you see him crying at the end. We cried for about 15 minutes. I was like, I promise you, it's coming home. Next time, it's coming home. So when I ran off stage straight to him, I grabbed him and I said, I told you I would never lie to you.
Oh
So
my
I got him
God.
straight away, and then my little, and I felt sorry for Casper, my youngest, because I picked him up and then I just threw him. I just wanted to get back. I just wanted to get back on stage and get hold of the trophy. Then I wanted to take it home.
Oh my God, that is amazing. You're gonna make me cry here. And then you were celebrated back home in St. Helens. You got to go to the rugby grounds, right?
Yeah, that's as a kid growing up. That's where I went to release. That's where I won watching my heroes play, and then to finally get there as a world champion and stand with some of the greats that I've watched. I still go now when I've got time off. Me and my kids go all the time. So be on that pitch with my trophies as well as theirs. That was another dream come true.
You were on the cover of the newspaper. They put you, I think, at your school or your former school. They put like on the screen there. You're the talk of town. Like when you walk down the street now, I mean, can you even do so anonymously, or is everyone coming up to you?
No, every day straight after the World Final, I go home. I took my kids to school, so they go to my old school I went to. So I still do the school run every morning, pick them up. I still do everything. The people see me every day, but all I get now is like a congratulations, well done. About time you won it, and that's it. I think it's when I come out of St. Helens, that's when I get the most marvel where people pull you away, can have pictures, can have this, can have that, but you can't say no. It's part of your job. If
Right.
you want a great fan base, you've got to be a great citizen to it, I should say.
Why do they call you Bully Boy?
Has nothing to do with darts. It's when I was younger, I used to work on a cow farm. As
Oh,
a reference, said when I won the world, I was going to buy a bull, as you couldn't come to my house and not see a bull in the garden. So I used to work on a cow farm as a kid, and yeah, my mate forgot the tags when we was tagging the ears so we could identify the babies to the mum. Yeah, and he forgot it. So I've got a 3-day old calf in a headlock, getting slammed in cow poo everywhere. And when he come back, he just called me a buller. So when I was looking for a name when I was playing darts, that just first thing that comes to mind.
wow. So you would milk the cows, do all that stuff?
No, it was a meat farm. Never ever wants to die. Just
Oh, meat farm.
raise them up and then send them to slaughter.
Oh, that's a bit sad.
Does
No.
sound nice, doesn't it? Yeah, it is, but if you don't do that, no one can eat.
Sure. And is your family still involved with that?
I know that was my auntie used to own a pub, yeah, well, like a big pub in Manchester. So the security guard on the door, so like asking for ID, that was his farm. So like on school holidays when I used to go and stay at my auntie's, I used to work for him through the school holidays.
Wow. And now you actually bought a horse recently, correct?
Yeah, racehorse. It's not doing so good. But me and Wayne Mardle, we just about to buy a dog now, which is called Can't Speak. That's going to be racing soon.
Oh my gosh. It's called I
Yeah,
Can't Speak?
yeah. So I was going to buy a dog now. I can't speak, and then hopefully that can start winning.
Wow. And this is a race dog?
Yeah, Greyhound racing.
Wow. So this is since the win on Tuesday.
Yeah, he texted me I think Thursday or Friday. Said, "Mate, we've got to do it. Just give me a couple of quid, and I've got a guy there trains him. It's this amount of money a month, and we'll get the dog and we'll train it up. It'll be called Can't Speak. He'll be running under I think it was Racing Hawaii 501. And yeah, it should be. I couldn't say no. I didn't want to do it, but I just couldn't say no. It was iconic. I had to do it.
Yeah, of course. What's the greatest thing to happen since the win? Like someone reach out to you, a message, a moment? Like, what's been the best thing to happen since the win?
The attention I'm getting, especially like from you as well, with how big you are. And this morning, I had Tony Cruz message me saying, "Well done, and can I do a few questions for this podcast?" I was like, Tony Cruz is probably one of the greatest midfielders ever in soccer, and he's won the World Cup. I don't know how many Champions Leagues, and like I got starstruck just reading them, and then yeah, it's just the people that I've looked up to. I find like I've followed for so long on social media, follow me back and sending me messages of congratulations, and just feels weird. I'm just still, I don't still not realize what I've done yet, but it's starting to sink in a bit now.
Do you wish that there was a bit of a break that you can let this sink in, or do you like the fact that you get right back on the horse, so to speak?
It would have been nice to have a holiday, but I could have said no to not playing in Bahrain now. I could have said, I don't want to do it. I want to go on holiday, but it's the grind. You've got to keep going. I don't want to take time off. Now that I'm world champion, I want to do the PDC right. I want to defend all years being world number one and world champion. I want to do it the correct way. But yeah, sometimes you do one thing, sometimes you don't. But for me, I just want to work as much as I can, win as much as I can. And I think that's just my attitude to life and sport as it is.
By the way, where's the trophy now?
The trophy's in my mum's pub. It's been on display since the 4th. So people have been coming into St. Helens and having pictures with the trophy. And I think she's got it up today as well. It's just on one of the bar tables. So people just come in every day just taking pictures of it.
And you get to keep it, right?
Yeah, get to keep it. We got a little replica one, it's only about this big.
Yeah.
And then obviously I've got that 25 kilo thing I've got to lug around everywhere. I've just got to send the plaque off so they can engrave it.
Yeah.
Send it back in the van then.
When we first were conversing on DM, I asked you if you're an MMA fan. You thought that I was going to have you on here to grill you on MMA. You didn't believe me when I told you I just wanted to talk to you about you and your achievement. But you are a bit of an MMA fan, correct?
Yeah, I was watching like George St. Pierre and Anderson Silva. They're two of the greatest of the sport, and I just love watching them. And then fell in love with Michael Bisping, especially because he didn't live far from me or where I live now. And then you've got obviously Paddy, who's not far from me in Liverpool. I do watch it a bit, and not as much I should do, but I do watch it quite a bit.
They should have you. They're having a big show at the O2 in March. They should have you there front and center if you're around. I think it's March the 18th. Are you available on March the 18th?
I'd have to check my calendar. Probably not, but
okay, fine.
I'm not a big enough celebrity to.
Are you kidding me? What are you talking about? You're a freaking bully boy. What do you mean? You're world renowned at this point.
I'm just still some kid from St. Helens.
Eddie doesn't have you front row at the big Anthony Joshua fights and whatnot?
No, I've never been to a sporting event.
What are you talking about?
To rugby. No, I've been to Old Trafford to watch United. I've been to St. Helens. I'd say I don't go to big sporting events.
This is going to change. We're going to change this. By the way, who's your football club?
Manchester United.
Sorry about that. Not great.
Look at that Nottingham Forest on your laptop.
Legends, right? What about Nottingham Forest? 2-time European champions.
That's good. We're 3.
Yeah, that's true. 79 and 80, though. What a time it was. And we're back. We're in 15th now. I don't know if you heard the news.
Is that so?
We're in 15th place. We're out of the relegation zone. It's big for us.
You're only about a point from being back in it, though, aren't you?
That's right. It's all good. It's all good. But I want to come to one of those rugby matches. That's the real thing that you love, right? That's your favorite?
Yeah, of course. If you ever come down to Ali Pali, I'm about 200 miles from there, though, but flying to Manchester and I'll take you to one of the games. Watch St. Helens. We'll get you the box and you can sit and watch it there.
And by the way, why does everyone dress up at the Ali Pali? Like I see people dressed up as Super Mario Brothers, crazy costumes. Why do they do that?
Oh, they love it. It's the show. It's just getting out. They get to let loose. I think one of the best ones I ever seen. I never ever look out into the crowd. I think it was 2 years ago. I looked out for the first time, and I just seen like 4 green heads bobbing along. And when they got out to the thing, it was the Jamaican bobsled.
Oh my God!
I hit the sled through all the fans. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen while I've been playing.
Oh, the characters are amazing. I love everything about it. I just got a dartboard for our house. It's the magnetic one for the kids because I didn't want them to, poke each other's eyes out. But I got one in our studio here. This might be a tough question. If you can leave us on this, like, what's the number one thing you need to do if you're like to focus? You're actually aiming for the spots, right? You're not just letting caution fly. what from an expert here, from the number one in the world, from the greatest darts player of all time, from the man, the king, the reigning defending champ, what's the number one thing I need to focus on when I'm trying to get better?
I actually watched your clip before.
Oh,
You need to keep still for once.
Okay.
You kind of you're kind of bending your front foot, so you keep leaning into it. So you want to stand still,
Okay.
and just look at the target where you're going, and make sure your hand pushes all the way through. You just got to follow. Bad words to say, but you just got to follow through.
Okay.
You just got to push all the way through to the target, and it's not going to happen in 10 minutes. You just got to keep working on it. But as long as you keep still and it's just your elbow and your wrist moving, everything will be fine then, as long as you keep focused.
You do stretches for your elbows, for your wrists, things like that?
No, it's just my stretches is practicing.
Right. You just let it
I
fly.
think if you do like an hour to 2 hours practicing, your elbow will be killing.
Right.
But after about 2 or 3 months of doing it, you kind of get used to it and you can go longer and longer and longer.
The one in MSG in June, that's the North American Championships?
Yeah, the US Masters as well. You've got just for American players, the winner gets a spot at the Ali Pala. Leonard Gates won it last year. And then you got the US Masters. So you'll have the 8 North American players, Canada or US, and then the 8 boys from the PDC come into it then as well. And you play down over 2 or 3 days.
Well, I will be there. I can't wait. What a pleasure it is to get to know you, to meet you, Michael. Congratulations. So happy for you. It's so fun to watch this and to see the buzz surrounding it, see all the love that you're getting. I can't stop watching the clip. I wish you the best in Bahrain. I wish you the best throughout your career. I wish the best to your family. And please do come in studio when you are in New York in June. It would be an honor to have you here.
100% I'll be in. Thank you, mate.
Okay, all the best to you. Take care. There he is, the one and only. Yes, sir. There he is, the legend. Michael Smith, bully boy. I can't speak. I can't speak. What a freaking guy. I mean, I enjoyed that so much.